Okay, so now we will have another session. My name is Stas, for those of you who doesn't know me. You can see also here, I'm actually from RIS reporting team. You can also see here Fear and Inod from tax reporting team. Okay, we will present now the new RIS box integration feature. Are all of you familiar with the existing RIS box integration, how it works? Okay, so before I'll present a new integration, some words about motivations why we would need to improve the existing integration. In existing integration, actually, as you probably know, we are allowed to have only maximum two integrated sessions. The first session is a regular session. The second session is actually the stat session. The stat session has some limited capabilities. For example, there is no there is no worklist mode for the stat session. When stat session is loaded, it usually takes some time until it is loaded. It can load some. If we are user logged with the speech user, it actually can take even more time to load speech wizard. So, and once this session is closed, it's destroyed, completely removed from the memory, and when user needs again to open the second session, it will take again the same time to load this session. So so it's in terms of how much time the second session loading will take, we need to improve that. In addition, we want to support now more sessions, not necessary. User wants to load only two sessions, and that's all. Sometimes maybe they need to use more integrated sessions. Okay, the situation became even worse once we extended integration to other roles. Until 1440, actually the only user that used integration was a radiologist. From 1440, we added integration capability also to the technologist for the role called a radiographer. So once technologist uses documentation, he could now load images from PACS, from the mini patient history for the patient. And the problem was that once the user opens documentation, we are on the loading of documentation, even when user didn't load any pictures from the patient history, we automatically allocated PACS session, and this caused the situation that when technologist opened two sessions and he couldn't open any more sessions because two sessions was already allocated in the PACS, and maximum we supported maximum two allocated sessions in PACS entries. So another limitation was that once we opening second session, a user couldn't return to the first session. The first session tab was disabled. User could only close first the second session, and then he could return to the first session. Another limitation that we could have some patient safety issues because, for example, let's say user opened diagnose, and then in diagnose he actually got the study for some patient. In RIS he can see, for example, patient X, and he can see pictures of the patient X in PACS. Then user can go to the worklist and open, for example, view result for other patient. But in PACS we left the same picture. So in RIS, the user could see actually data for the patient X, for the patient Y, sorry, and in PACS you can see pictures for the first patient, and it can be confusing, can cause patient safety. So we need to solve these issues too. Okay, so it's a small overview of what we had until now. So starting from 11.2, we extended existing integration mechanism to overcome the existing limitations. Okay, so now we just go over what we did and see how it works. Okay, so as you can see, I opened RIS and PACS in integration mode. We can see here, once the RIS and PACS loaded, we can see the standard RIS window and the PACS window. I'm working from actually loaded the user that has default role as radiologist. So you can see we have here exam done worklist with all studies relevant actually for today. Okay, so let's now open some study. Okay, until now, so far there is no changes, as you can see. I opened the study. We have study open in RIS. We are actually working here on view reporting environment. Okay, the presentation on view reporting environment. So you can see a study is loaded in PACS. Here you can see the viewer and the report. Okay. So far no changes. Now I'll go back to the work list. Okay, so you can see something happened here. First of all, the PACS window disappeared. There's no more PACS window. Why? Because in new integration we want to keep it synchronized all the time. Once I am diagnosed, you can say I'm going to diagnose, the PACS window is displayed. And you can see it's not so little bit difficult to see all this in one screen, but you can see that actually it's the patient that I opened. Once I go to exam done worklist or any other worklist, the PACS disappeared. Why? Why we did that? Because I now can just select another row from the worklist, this is also can be confusing. I can stand here. I can be located here on the, for example, this row, and if now I would see here the PACS viewer, in PACS viewer actually presenting pictures for the patient Dave, and here I'm standing on patient Frederick. So it can be confusing. We don't want we want to prevent any situation when user can be confused by actually data that he sees in RIS or in PACS. So we are making PACS, we actually hiding the PACS window. Of course, we are not closing it, not destroying it. You can see the PACS window is still in the memory. Here you can see MP exit, just hidden. Once I'm going back to diagnose, it will just make it show up again. Okay, now let's open another diagnose. Okay, as you can see, so far it looks the same. I'm opening the second session. It takes time to open it because actually what happens now, PACS loading the second session, new PACS exit. Actually, new MP exit created. Now we have 2 sessions, and you can see for the second session, the pictures are loaded as they actually the second session. You can see here where you can see the patient name, probably here. Okay, but not sure is. You can see It's actually the second patient. I'm going back to then done, but it disappears. Now I can go to the first diagnosis. In contrary to what we had before, now I can go back to the first patient. The first patient tab is not disabled anymore, so I can navigate between the first and the second diagnosis. When I'm doing that, when we have two screens, it looks better. I can navigate between tabs. Each time I navigate, I can see the pictures and the report editor of the right patient.
Slow the first time.
Okay, so let me now come to the second session, and I just want to dismiss it. Okay, I'm just closing the session. I close the session. I go back. The recent part automatically went to the first diagnosis. Okay, and now I'm going back to exam download list, and I will open the second session again.
That's showing the task manager.
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to show it the difference. I just want to. Okay, so let's do what Fuer suggested. You can see I close the second session, but you can see in Task Manager we still have two processes, two entry exit processes. That means that the second session also is closed, but it stays in memory. It stays in memory. We are not destroying the process. So now, when I will open the second session, it's supposed to load much quicker. You can see it's immediate.
Yeah.
Okay, because we don't need to create MPX again to load all initial data that are required to be loaded when initializing the session. So everything is in the memory, it's immediate. Okay.
The memory footprint is a lot smaller because there are no images. So it's
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, of course, it's now we need to,
More memory.
we have some limitation that it's not a limitation, but actually you can see because we are keeping this exe in a memory, it will still take its memory exactly what it needs. So when user opens, I know 3 or 4 sessions, it will now take more memory. It will require more memory for them to be in the machine to work good. So, but the good news that this can be actually customized even per the machine. So the strong machines with per user, the strong machines with a lot of memory can use more sessions, and the machines that have doesn't have a lot of memory can use, for example, the same 2 sessions if we don't want to allocate more and to read all the memory.
Is there a hard limit to that?
It's hard limit. No, we have.
And you don't want 10 open, you know?
No, we have some configurations that determines how many sessions could be open. All this configuration. Actually, we have 2 configurations on the part side. We can actually define how many sessions can be open. We are going outside with the recommended configurations of 3 sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Of course, if it is required, it can be changed according to the size, the user, and as I said, according to the machine. Okay, so
more if it's quite reasonable.
Yeah, I'd ask the question, why do you need more than 3?
okay.
Yeah.
So I will show you something else that you actually indeed don't know more than 3. So here I don't know if I have configuration of WueRIS mode, but once I'm clicking X for the second before in old integration, when I click in cancel or close or approve, and I'm in the when I'm in the WueRIS mode, the second session always closed. As I said, there was no VueRIS mode for the second session. Now, the second session, exactly like the first session, they're completely equivalent. There's no, you even don't need to think about it if this is the second session, the first session, all of them completely the same. There's no more term of start session. Every session is the same. Okay, so let me now show you something else. As I said, once I'm going to the VueRIS, I'm the box. I'm just hiding the box windows, as I said, to prevent patient safety issues. Now I want to go to justification worklist. As you know, even for radiologists, even in old integration, radiologists can open study for justification. Let's select this study. Okay, so I open study for justification. As you remember, in the old integration, we automatically allocated session on the PACS session. Even for justification, we actually don't need to load images in the box because it's in the order level. Actually, justification, radiologists doing justification for the order. There are no pictures for this order. But we automatically, in the old integration, we allocated PACS session because radiologists can go to the patient history and load study for the old from the history. Now, radiologists also can do that, but the study, the session in PACS will be allocated only when radiologist loading the session, no study here, loading this picture from the or study from the patient history. Okay, once before he did it, there is no actual allocation of PACS session. So once the session that was loaded when a user just doing justification, it was a start session. He couldn't, even when let's say radiologist open, the first session was justification, then the second session radiologist wants to open diagnose, the diagnose session will be start session. Okay, in the old integration, so we had limitation there. Now the session, as I said, automatic session doesn't allocate it automatically, and only when radiologist loads some study from the patient history, and it also helps us to keep less sessions. Yeah. Now you can see we have three sessions. I think in our environment we have maximum sessions that we can open is 5 sessions.
So you got it configured to 5.
Okay.
But normal default is 3, right? You should never have more
When
than
you're
3.
releasing the released version will have by default 3 sessions. You can, as I said, you can change it to be 5, but it's also again it will demand more memory for the machine. Okay. Now when I'm going back to I'm going back to the worklist. You know, PACS session, all PACS session disappeared. I want to go back to here, and I just want to show you that actually now I open 3 sessions, and it may be memory consuming. So I have an option to just to close one of the sessions completely. For example, I can go to the PACS session and just exit.
That doesn't break the integration, no.
It doesn't break the integration, but you can see now the session is completely destroyed. I can do that the same for the diagnose. I don't have to, if I close the session, we will keep the empty exe in the memory, so the next time I will open second session it will be very quick. But if for some reason, actually this can be memory consuming reason, I'm doing exit, it will be like close, but we will release the empty exit.
If you were to double click on a same study in the list that you already have a diagnosed session open, does it just assume that tab or does it open a new one?
It's double click. It depends. You mean double click or?
Yeah, if you do a diagnose on a study that already has a
Yeah,
tab
we
open,
will
Just
will
like
just
switch to diagnose.
yeah. It's just move to diagnose.
it will just take over that
Yeah,
tab. Okay.
it is not related to integration. It's a regular risk mechanism.
Yeah.
When we open in diagnose, we just checking if we have already this study open,
Yeah.
and it's open, just focusing on it.
Because I think most of our rads will end up hitting diagnose again on that study as opposed to looking for the tab.
Yeah.
It's more of a training thing, but that's what they will do.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so the next thing that I want to show you is actually, as you may remember, sometimes users need to burn images, and in integration we don't have option. If I will go to the PAC session and I'll try to find burn burn images options, there is no burn images from the integration. In all integration, what user need to do is actually go to here to sessions and create new session. The new session that user could create was not integrated session.
Mhm. Right.
I will add this button of new session here in PAX. In the new integration, one of the configurations that we have, and is our default one, is to disable the ability to perform the new session from here. As we will show in a minute how we can do it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because
But it will not be available. Plus, when you open another diagnose, you can show also that this
Yeah.
list show which one is the current selected session, but disabled. You cannot switch here between the PAC session,
Good.
but you just can see with the small checkbox there, the V, which one is the selected.
Always risk driven.
Both of them are risk driven. He just now he diagnosed another case, so you can see both of them, and one of them is the selected. This is the one in this tab, supposed to be the tab in the list also.
okay, so as I said, in all integration, in order to burn images, for example, user was need to create new non-integrated session, and once user opened non-integration session, RIS cannot control it. For example, once we are closing this recent paths, these sessions are staying in memory. The user was need to close them manually. Now we have something new. Actually, it's called independent viewer. What independent viewer does, it's actually in RIS, it will open just empty session, but in PAX, it will open the Archive Explorer, so all functionality that user needs from Archive Explorer is enabled here. For example, a user can burn images to find some image. I don't know exactly how to do it, but eventually a user can burn the images and loading teaching files, everything that he may need, he can do that. And as I said, this is now integrated session as regular integration sessions. Session 1, I will close it from RIS. It will be also closed from PAX. Or I could close it from PAX, it will also be closed exactly the same way.
Let's open independent once again
Yeah.
and show something.
Yeah, okay. So,
The independent viewer, not like all the others, this is a session that when you close it, you really close the session of the box. Okay? So now it's starting from the beginning and start a new session of Medify. And now if here now, Stas, can you switch between this one and the diagnose and show that it switched the box session just like all the other integration sessions? One thing that you can do when you are in the independent session, it's called independent because now Stas can load in the PAX session. Can you go to Data Explorer session,
Yeah.
the independent one? And there the user can load cases and close them. And during all this time, the RIS is on the same tab, the empty tab of independent viewer. And it's not in integration in the meaning of opening and closing studies. The only integration that this session has with the RIS is to load this session or close this session. Okay? But now you see images, and the RIS still show this empty tab all this time. And
When you switch tabs, the session is also minimized and the other session
yeah,
is
Yeah.
open.
You
So
can go
again, no
between
patient safety issue.
and as you can see.
Single independent viewer, right?
Yeah, it is single independent. So if you now once again click the independent viewer in the sidebar, it just go to the one that you already have, and the independent viewer, like Stas said, it is mainly for operations that user need to do for Market Explorer, and he don't have when he is in integration. But if you decide to load studies, you can do it, and it's just not in integration. If you will sign it, it will be only a backend integration if you will, but not front-end integration. Okay?
Okay, one thing that I also wanted to show you is when I'm doing actually view result from patient history or from main work list. As I said, you can I prefer to do it from here because you can see when I'm in diagnose, I can actually view results from another study from the history. I'm not sure I have to view results actually I have. When I'm doing view results, even I'm in diagnose now, it will open another session, another tab here. And this tab actually is not integrated tab. So once I open not integrated tab, you can see PAX session because view results actually doesn't need to show any images. Once I'm going back to diagnose, PAX session is displayed as usual. Okay, something else that I want to mention. Actually, you can see
Crashed.
I don't think so. Huh? No,
Just,
just slowness on the some reason. Okay, something else that I wanted to show you that sometimes I want to close some of the sessions. Too much sessions here. Let's say sometimes I open diagnose one, and I have here, and I give you, for example, user did some drawer. I don't have the patient here, and then he wants to save the study or to cancel to close the study. Once I'm clicking on the dismiss study, user will see some model dialog here. You know what's model dialog and can actually access anything behind this window. But now in integration, user forgot that he did it, and I want to move to the another diagnose session. Okay, so the system now doesn't allow to do that once the model dialog is opened in the PAX session. So the user will prompt with with this message that actually the navigation to this tab is not possible because current viewer have some modal dialog. Okay, so we automatically move back to the current viewer. The same will be if I'll try to go to view results window until user not cancel this dialog, the navigation will be cancelled. Okay, some other issues that I don't want. Actually, I will show you. I hope I can show it smoothly. As you can see, we have now two diagnose sessions open. For some reason, I don't know why, but one of session maybe can crash. So I don't know why, but it can crash. I don't know which one of them we have two here. I don't know which one of them is here, but I will try to kill one of them.
Open tab. Open tab, and then you will see the process ID, and you will crash one of the others.
Okay, I can do that. Okay, let's reverse. Okay, so let's open the third session. Okay, you can see this one, the third session. Third session is loaded. Now I'm going to kill this one. One of the sessions crashed. We just simulate the crash of the session. You can, as you can see, in RIS we still have 3 diagnosed tabs because actually the session crashed. We can't get any notification that it was crashed. But once we are going to this session, I don't know which one of them, so let's try. The first one is okay. User could move to the session. If I try to move to this session, probably this session was crashed. The user will get notification that actually this session is not available anymore, and also the session in the tab in RIS will be automatically closed. So we're handling now better the situation when one of the session crashed. Actually, user will, of course, he will lose this session, but he can continue to work without restarting RIS and packs. It's supposed to be better now.
And the changes to that tab are not saved.
Of course,
they're
not,
just dismissed.
because we cannot save this data because sometimes the data should be saved also in recent packs, and I can save the data only in one system, and the second system will remain unsaved. It can cause some data inconsistencies, so we just informing user that this session is crashed, probably not available anymore. We're closing the session without saving the data. The session is gone. But the other session actually don't feel nothing of that, and can continue work as usual.
And that crash would be able to see it in the new integration debug.
It's a question that's related to the Stax integration.
This
It's related to medic value.
Yeah, you will see it.
Depends.
Yeah.
You will see it in the box probably. Of course, I don't remember if RIS crashes completely. This means RIS crashed. Everything is gone. We have only bugs still on. So in this case, what will happen?
When PAX will try to say something to the RIS and the adapter between them, the CKMBS will see that there is no bliss. It will automatically perform exit from all PAX sessions. It's supposed to give a message to the user that something happened, occurred. You have this message also today from the CKMBS, and it will shut down all the PAX sessions that are up. So this crash, it's like go down everything, and Pax one session crash, and we recover it with just closing the specific tab in the list.
Then you don't save.
You don't save
You don't save the password.
Yeah.
Okay, something else that I want to mention, it's actually we can now open several integrated sessions, and we want to actually to give to the user ability to do one single logout. Until now, once we was in integration, the logout wasn't enabled in the RIS, and also exit was disabled, and the logout could be done from Pax session by session in old integration.
It was only two, so
Yeah.
it's not feeling that we needed to do it per session.
Right.
But
Yeah.
Stas, maybe how many now you have sessions?
I have 2 sessions now.
So maybe open until you get the maximum message, and then you will do.
Okay, so let's what you said. Let's show what happens when we will try to open more sessions that we allowed by configuration. I have now 2 sessions. Let's open 3rd session, and then we go to justification.
The short studies, the Shigeki.
Okay. Okay.
Recover because the crash.
Yeah. Okay. I'll click new. I could also recover the session. So let's go and download please. We have some
Yeah, so
more.
it does recover. The thing I was thinking about is that, okay, let's say RIS crashes and the radiologist is doing the dictation. Yeah, we certainly wouldn't want them to lose the dictation, but your recovery there should be able to handle that.
Hopefully it will get the information.
So now opening the 4th session. Okay, as I said, every time the users open the new session, completely new session, it will take the time to load it to the memory. But once it's in the memory, it will be really quick.
The thought is that the user will do it in the beginning of the day. Will do, let's say, 3 sessions that will take time, but after that, he will just dismiss them and the process will be up. So from this point on, all day it will not need to wait.
Okay, now I have already 4 sessions in the memory. Now I try to open 5th session, and actually the configuration session said that we have only may have only 4 sessions maximum. So getting this message, we have already reached the maximum number of sessions.
I will say something discussed here. The 4 is currently the configuration of this environment is 4 sessions maximum for integration. And this specific environment here have the 5th one you can load from like in the old integration from Pax. You can create new session from Pax because the button, as we saw before, is available, and this is now the maximum Pax. So actually in the configuration, when you will read the guide for this feature, you will see 2 configurations that speak about the maximum. One of them is the maximum integrated sessions, which is now 4, and the other one is the total maximum, which is now 5, but it is only for not integration. So if you can do it, but from Pax. So it's not relevant for the integration. This feature.
Yeah, of course the user still have option to go to the to the file system and run the Pax session from the program files. It will be, of course, not integrated, but now users have less reasons to do that because we now have, as we said, independent viewer with the Archive Explorer, and you can do everything from there. Okay, so as now we have here 4 sessions open, and
In fact, you can see how many also on the list.
yeah, once and back session. As you can see, we have 4 sessions here. You can navigate between them. You cannot navigate between them here. The navigation is done only using RIS. RIS actually, it's RIS drives. I didn't mention the whole mechanism. It actually didn't change of how study is saved and report saved, and the regular save flow. I mean, when the user clicks on save or sign, the data is saved in RIS and then it's saved in PAX. It wasn't changed. The only thing that was changed is the mechanism around of it. Okay. So the last thing that we wanted to show is actually that we have a single logout. Once we are exiting from RIS, it's supposed to close all sessions.
If one of the sessions was written in the document of the report, and it can stop there and ask the user if you want to save it.
You're right.
For example.
For example,
You will see one maybe stop question for the user, but automatically it will go between them and close all.
So that'll close every RIS open session, but let's say you had one that was a PAX session. When this is all done, it'll still stay at the PAX? Is that how?
No, when we exiting from here, it's actually, as I said, single logout. It's supposed to close all sessions, all tabs in RIS, and close all sessions and tabs.
Okay.
Everything goes down.
Shut down all.
Yeah.
When you want to close it all.
Even the PAX.
I believe that users will close them one by one because they want to know what they just closed. But if someone really early and want to work fast, they can do what is possible.
I'm a radiologist and I've got a golf game in half an hour.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay, we created that for exactly for this.
We can change the name. We can change the name of the button.
Yeah.
Golf round.
The maximum before
Okay, so.
Yeah.
for the golf team.
Okay, here it's actually the development R&D environment. So we are doing changes here. So it may not work now, but it's fine. Actually, something as I said.
Maybe it's waiting for you in the past.
Actually, you are right. When we are working with two monitors, so you can see that it's something in the past. When one over the other,
It's also supposed in I think it is configuration if PAX in the CFG central configuration of PAX, we have a configuration about, and it's mentioned in the guide that PAX will take focus for several messages. It will influence a lot of the messages of the PAX that if they appear, it will steal the focus and appear after.
okay, so good know for now. You can see
You see
everything.
it now a bit blinking, but it's actually closed all of them one by one. Okay, we open the maximum, so it looks like a lot.
Okay,
But it's closed, and after we close also the RIS. Sometimes it takes time the RIS, but we check that. You can see no magic line and no CPM guest process. And the RIS starts with.
R is supposed to go down. Sometimes it takes a
I
time.
saw 8 here, but just put time.
Weird that
Takes more time.
Takes a long time, yeah.
I did some distinction
Okay, so this is the new integration. If you have any questions, I hope it's better now than it was before.
It looks bi-directional. It's possible to control wafer from
packs?
No, as I said, workflow is controlled from RIS. We have worklist in RIS. We can open studies from this worklist. We can navigate between studies in the tabs in the RIS.
Yeah.
Of course, once we are talking about view reporting, we can control some actions from packs, like sign study, upload the study, and of course close the
We have
session.
some
It can be controlled from packs, but actually the flow is always RIS driven.
Yeah.
When we are working in integration, RIS is controlling the worklist, and the opening of the studies is done from this worklist.
Yeah, we get a lot of requests for a package-driven workflow as well.
For what?
Yeah.
Package-driven.
But, look, you can separate the who is the driver to a lot of areas. For example, the loading is, as Stas said, is the RIS drives pass, and the workflow of signing, because it's view reporting, is the pass drives the workflow. Okay, and also you can take it to another and a lot of other areas. Now, what you have here is the independent viewer that open a pack session that can also load but not telling about it to the RIS. We have integrations out there with other RIS systems that packs open the Archive Explorer and user can load it from packs and influence RIS. But here the decision is that the RIS packs integration of RIS 11 is to be separated about the loading and the workflow, and later about who is the, for example, the logout driver. So here we decided that the packs can log out only one session, and the RIS can drive the logout all. Okay, so for each operation we can decide who is the driver. We think that with the current integration, it gives the doctor most of both worlds. So he can load it from here, independent viewer to load from packs, and always now with reporting to sign from packs.
But if you look at the Nordic market, where we have a lot of other PACS vendors, they want to integrate as well with us, and it would be very beneficial if we could add some methods to have like some kind of bi-directional workflow.
It's a business decision.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
know.
related to
I
technical
know.
decision.
No.
It's a business decision in which we have only reason interest
Yeah.
in recent past.
Yeah.
So
We have like a list.
if you have something which is not common or standard, you should go to Neville and ask for permission, and it should be, you
I'm
know,
just trying to get
the
an idea
business
what's
managers,
possible,
the
what's
Nordic
not.
should go to the PLM and ask for
Right.
exception.
Right. But
It's
do we have a
not in
list
this
like
one.
what's possible?
Everything is possible, but
No, today. No, today. The laptop
No,
too. No. We don't have a description of the interface. It's CMBS.
No, we have only one direction interface for now. Okay, something that I want to mention now is actually which versions are supporting this new integration. In RIS, as I said, it's actually our latest version 11.2, and for packs it's 12.155. Okay, of course we will have once one of the or packs version is lower or RIS version is lower, the integration will stay as we have it now. For example, RIS 11.2 with the packs 12 will have the old integration, or the newest packs version with the old RIS version will have the old integration.
Is 12.155 being released worldwide with 11.2?
What?
Is 12.155 being released?
It's now in release candidates.
Yeah, but it's only site specific right now.
The client will be, sorry.
So I don't know the
far as
official
I know,
one, but
only 2 clients can have
Yeah.
12.15.
That's John Hopkins.
I don't think.
Yeah.
I think that only 2 sites.
Okay, but we
You
can- we
should
can-
access
but
to
we can
the,
check.
the business and ask for it. It's
We-
not related to the technical
yeah,
limitation.
we can check for that. But anyway, even with 12.155, because we don't know if the RIS is already 11.2, the default configuration is not to use this new integration, but a site that understands that you have the two versions of RIS and PAX that can support it, you need to perform actually it's just one enable flag in the central configuration of PAX that need to be done to open it with all the default values. If you want also to change the number of maximum and stuff like that, it's all in the guide, but the only one that is really important is the enable disable flag of this feature, which is in the default is disabled, because we don't know if we have the correct disk with us. And one more thing that Stas mentioned, a specific station can, in any file, CKMVS INI file, decide that the number of maximum is different from all the other side, or the other users, groups, or anything in the central configuration. And one more thing that you need to do with the service guide is the independent viewer button in the RIS. Stas, am I correct? They need to do it manually to edit.
Yeah, we have a new action in RIS. All of that you can actually see in service document that
They have it. They have it.
you have it already. We have a new action for independent viewer that is provided by installer automatically. What you need is to add a toolbar entry for this view action.
And to your question, you asked what inside changes. So even if you have 11.2 and with the RIS, the old RIS PAX integration, it was rewritten.
Oh,
So
it has.
don't assume that it's the same as prior, okay?
That's
So
very good to
underneath it was rewritten. So even if you use the old RIS PAX integration, in terms of RIS in 11.2, it was changed. It's a change.
It will be the same if it's not the
Yeah,
integration.
externally, but
Externally,
in terms
yeah.
of risk and testing,
Yeah.
it's a new code.
So like if, you know, go to a site where we're upgrading packs, for instance, right? Well, then even though it should work, and we have an older version of RIS, there's just that extra issue.
No, it's supposed to be the same
Supposed
because
to.
It's
it
supposed
is.
to be its code.
Yeah, but
Just
if
code.
it is a RIS old one, so
Yeah.
the change is only in the adapter and in the packs, the new packs. So what we tested here is also to take this new packs, disable the flag, working with old RIS and see if it's working. So it will behave like before with the one main session and start session.
But if you take he's asking about risks and what was changed underneath. So this is
Okay.
something that, presumably,
Yeah,
if you
it is.
have an older part, it wasn't changed, but it changed.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, about just got a question. I don't remember well, but I think in the commercialization calls we discussed it that 12.1.5.5 will be a worldwide release in the client side because it has many
Yes.
fixes, and in the backend side will be a site specific for DIACAP hardening and maybe stuff.
That question should go to the business. It's not in this room. If you have question like when
No.
Yeah, but it's nice to know if it's limited
We
to
don't
those
know.
versions, we need to know that they're gonna be released together.
I think by now will be that will be.
released for November. And the
Packs
packs
also.
you should go, it's even before.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's not going to be worldwide. That's, I know that it's only.
I think the client site will be worldwide, but
You should go to, we are not in the.
In fact, this feature is only client side needed.
Yep.
Of course, it's not. You don't need the new server.
You should go to the business and ask them, not us.
no, it was not a question. It was as far as I know, because I participate on the core team calls. That will be the decision. Worldwide for the client side, and site specific for the backend side.
I know that it's a proposal for the clients,
Okay.
but I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you, Stas.
Yeah, it looks very, very good. I guess the only thing we'd like to probably look at, or in the future, is to have possible that, you know, if you have a crash, whether it's RIS or PAX, it'd be nice to have those combined logs pulled into some type of,
Currently, the only combined logs are from the response
Right.
integration.
and
That's it.
we understand that, and just future enhancement recommendation is,
To grab also the PAX logs, you know that we can do it
No.
easily because they are important on that.
Yeah.
But we will not be able to
Change the log.
initiate them, to activate them. For that, you will need to go to the PAX.
I do see a risk
We
area
just can grab them easily.
where the radiologist could get into a situation where he's got the mobile window up, he's got another error, he doesn't know what to do. There's a lot of pop-up windows for the radiologists. And I don't know how to get around that, but I could just see them getting into this whole thing and they're gonna put a mouse through the screen because they have no time for that.
In this area, maybe you should go and restrict these radiologies and have.
To one session.
One session.
There you go.
I could just see a loop and,
Yeah, but I think that you will see it on one monitor and it's a bit confusing.
Yeah.
When it is on two monitors and you have this here,
It's
it's
better.
only packs, always only packs. You cannot go out
Yeah.
tab them and you cannot switch anyhow between the packs. You also see the relevant packs in your screen. I think it will
look better.
looks
Yeah,
better
this
than
This
showing.
is why each of you has an extra monitor, which was ordered when we understood that you won't be able to test it on one monitor. So it was a second purchase or leasing purchase, when we realized that without extra monitor, it will be very tough for you to test it.
okay.
So I would like to close all the theoretical session before we move to a break. And we have, I think, very small items.
Okay.
לא, יש לך את ה-next, previous, printout. Staff has 4 items and Viv has 1. Each of them should take 2 minutes, not more. יש לך next, previous, printout. תודה רבה, לא קשור אליך.
Thank
תודה
you.
רבה.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Next, printout, speech management. כל אחד 2 דקות. נקרא לא יותר.
Okay, so I will not show any.
So we are not going to move to the break before we finish all these 5 sessions. So we have 20 minutes. I'm going to call this because the last session is the patient panel, which